What if every city had to be rebuilt every 100 years? The concept of cities being rebuilt every 100 years presents a fascinating scenario with profound implications for urban planning, culture, society, and the environment. This hypothetical situation would dramatically alter the way we live, work, and interact with our surroundings. Let's explore how this radical idea could reshape various aspects of human life. 1. Impact on architecture and urban design. Rebuilding every 100 years would necessitate continuous innovation in architecture and urban design. Cities would constantly be at the forefront of technological advancements and environmental sustainability, as each new iteration would aim to be more efficient, resilient, and adaptable to the times. The architectural landscape would evolve rapidly, with each new generation of buildings reflecting the latest trends in design, materials, and technologies. For example, 21st-century cities may feature smart buildings equipped with sensors and renewable energy systems, while cities rebuilt in the 22nd century might showcase advancements in biotechnology, allowing structures to adapt and grow in response to changing environmental conditions. This constant renewal could lead to cities that are both more functional and aesthetically pleasing, as they would be tailored to the needs and challenges of each era. 2. Cultural shifts and historical legacy. Every 100 years, entire cities would lose their historical landmarks and structures, creating a dynamic tension between preservation and progress. This could lead to a cultural shift where history is experienced more through museums, virtual reality, and digital archives, rather than through physical monuments. However, it might also foster a culture of innovation and adaptability, where citizens value the constant opportunity for reinvention. As a result, cities could embrace rapid changes in culture, style, and lifestyle, with each new generation of residents building on the foundation laid by the previous one. Cities would constantly evolve into modern expressions of their time, and the idea of preserving the old might take on a new form, focusing on digital conservation rather than physical structures. 3. Economic impacts and job creation. The requirement for cities to be rebuilt every century would have a profound impact on the economy. Construction, demolition, and design industries would be consistently booming, creating a steady flow of jobs in urban planning, architecture, engineering, and construction. This constant turnover of buildings and infrastructure would require significant investment in research, development, and training to ensure that the workforce is skilled in the latest technologies and construction methods. However, this constant rebuilding could also lead to economic instability. The resources required for such monumental efforts might drain national economies or encourage unsustainable practices, especially if cities needed to be rebuilt from the ground up. Furthermore, the need to destroy existing structures could limit the opportunity for long-term investments in real estate, leading to an economy less focused on property ownership and more on temporary solutions. 4. Environmental considerations. Rebuilding cities every century would come with significant environmental consequences. While the goal of each new construction could be to create more sustainable cities, incorporating green technologies, renewable energy, and zero-waste systems, the demolition and reconstruction process itself would generate a massive amount of waste and carbon emissions. If cities were rebuilt without careful consideration of environmental impact, this could exacerbate the already existing challenges of climate change and resource depletion. However, cities could also become models of sustainability if each cycle of rebuilding focused on circular economies, renewable energy, and reducing ecological footprints. The design of future cities could prioritize living materials, sustainable transportation networks, and smart grids that reduce energy consumption and waste. This scenario would require major advances in construction techniques to ensure that each rebuild minimizes harm to the environment while maximizing the quality of life for residents. 5. Social and political ramifications. Politically, the process of rebuilding every city could result in profound shifts in governance. A city that reinvents itself every 100 years would likely need new frameworks of urban governance, possibly involving democratic participation in the planning process, where citizens would have a direct role in shaping the future of their surroundings. Additionally, the social implications of constantly changing cities could lead to new forms of social mobility. People might be more willing to move from city to city, as the concept of home would be less tied to a specific location and more about the transient experience of living in a place that is constantly evolving. On the other hand, the constant rebuilding could create divisions between those who benefit from the new developments and those who are displaced or left behind. The need for constant regeneration could lead to gentrification or the erosion of community ties, as long-term residents may struggle to maintain their place in a city that is rapidly changing. 6. The rise of temporary and modular living. With cities constantly under reconstruction, temporary and modular living solutions could become the norm. Housing might become more adaptable, with modular units that can be easily dismantled and rebuilt in different configurations. This could reduce the need for permanent structures and allow people to live in spaces that evolve with the city's rebuilding process. Communities might become more flexible, with a greater emphasis on shared spaces, co-living, and adaptability. This could lead to a more transient society where people move in and out of different living environments more frequently, rather than staying rooted in one place for generations. 7. Changing concept of urbanization. As cities are rebuilt every 100 years, urbanization itself could take on new meanings. In the past, cities were seen as centers of culture, economy, and politics, with long histories and slow growth. If cities were constantly being reconstructed, urban life might focus more on progress and innovation, rather than heritage and history. This could lead to a global trend of rapidly changing metropolises, where the emphasis is on technological advancement, modern infrastructure, and urban experimentation. The definition of what it means to live in a city would likely shift, with urban spaces becoming living laboratories for new ideas and ways of life. 8. Population growth and urban density. If cities were rebuilt every 100 years, they would likely need to account for ongoing population growth. Over time, as cities attract more people seeking to experience modern living, the challenge of managing urban density would become even more pressing. The density of these new cities might lead to more vertical living solutions, with skyscrapers becoming even taller and more densely packed. Cities could also become more decentralized, with a greater focus on creating smaller, self-sustaining urban hubs within a larger metropolitan area, allowing for more efficient resource distribution and easier management of growing populations. Conclusion. A world of constant reinvention. If every city had to be rebuilt every 100 years, society would experience constant reinvention, from the way we live in cities to how we interact with our environment and each other. The benefits of such an approach could include technological advancements, more sustainable living, and a culture of innovation. However, it would also come with challenges related to economic stability, environmental impact, and social equality. Ultimately, such a world would require balancing progress with preservation, constantly reimagining the urban experience while considering the long-term consequences of rebuilding from scratch.